Travel abroad. I was thinking about traveling abroad and dating abroad because there's a guy named Austin Holman, and he goes to Brazil and Colombia, and he presents these videos about dating women from other countries and how much better they are than the women from this country. I have to agree with him, but I know some guys are giving him some beef about it, like he doesn't have good enough game, and that's why he goes out of the country. Well, I'm a man who's traveled out of the country about 35 times, and I've dated abroad, and it doesn't matter where you go. If you don't have sufficient game, you can be taken anywhere. What he talks about going out of the country is the variety or the class of women. And I have to agree with him that there's more feminine type women out of the U.S. You have to remember the women here in the U.S. are raised to be career women. They're raised to be like men. And so many of them are so masculine. My neighbor's over there ratcheting on something. It's difficult to make a video in the evening. But what you have to remember is, well, the term third world country means they are behind us. So if you want to find a woman that was like the women here back in the 60s, 70s, or 80s, you can go to a third world country and find women like that. Very difficult to find those women here. Now, does that mean that you don't have to have good game, or that you're opting out here because you're not good enough to pick up women here? No, it doesn't. I just don't want nothing to do with the women here. I remember when the women here in the U.S. respected men. They didn't hit men, they didn't act like they were tougher than men, and they couldn't just say, oh, he did this to me, or he sexually harassed me, and then the man was in trouble, actually could have his career ruined. So I understand why men don't want to date here. One wrong woman you get hooked up with, she can ruin your life. I've been married 4 times. Now, some people look at that like, oh, you've had 4 failed marriages. No, I had many years of success during those relationships. I even married a woman from abroad, from Latin America. Problem was, I brought her here, and after about 10, 12 years of marriage, she learned the ropes and actually pulled the same thing on me that an American woman would have pulled on me. Tried to take me to the cleaners. I ended up losing everything through that. So it's just the culture here. The women, when they get married, if they are not happy, the divorce court system actually is so involved in the family. Most of you guys don't know that. 50% of divorces or marriages end in divorce. 70 to 75% stats show are initiated by the woman because it's a gain for her financially and it's a loss for you. So if you want, I have 5 boys that are from ages 13 to 22. I advise them not to have kids or marry anybody here in the U.S. Now, I love my country, but it's a lose-lose for the men. What is there to gain for him? With all these Me Too laws and this, well, you guys know how it is. I don't have to explain that to you. So what I'm telling you is, if you can travel abroad, it's like this. If I'm fishing in this small pond, or this pond that's got dirty water in it, and I can't catch any good fish because there's no good fish in there, or not the type of fish that I want to eat, I better go fish in a different lake. Okay, so that's what it's like. I don't like the fish in this lake of USA, and a lot of other guys don't either. They're tired of fishing and getting the same type of fish, which are distasteful, if you like, for an analogy. So they go to other places. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but some of the guys here bash them for that. I'm not sure why they do that. It doesn't mean you don't have game. It just means you want a different variety of fish, or in this case, of course, women. So my advice to men is to go out of the country. Now, that's not to say there aren't good women here. If you're just looking to get laid, sure, the USA is probably good. But then again, you're taking a big risk. If you happen to reject her, she gets pissed off at you. She has all the power when it comes to the system. Now, when I travel out of the country, I don't worry about that because women are different there. Now, that's not to say they couldn't do that, but it's just not the way they're raised. They're not raised to be strong, independent women. But in reality, these are strong, feminine women who don't need you. They don't need you. okay? They want a good man, but they're managing just fine by themselves. It's not like you go there and they're starving to death and just throwing themselves at you because you're some gringo from another country and you're rich and they're going to marry you. It's ridiculous to think that. So I don't know how much experience these guys have that are bashing Austin Holman, but it has nothing to do. I've had a lot of women here in the States, and as I said, I've been married 4 times here in the States. But it's like if they don't feel like they're in love anymore, they're encouraged to leave. Well, women years ago, and women out of the other countries, a lot of times, if you don't bring them here, have an idea of commitment. They understand that love is not just a feeling, a passing emotion. It's an action. So that's something you can get somewhere else besides here. In general, like I said, I'm sure there's women here that still believe in commitment, but it's really few and far between, and they're encouraged to follow their feelings. Well, feelings come and go. Feelings change. Think about this. I have 6 kids here. I've raised them for the last 10 or 12 years by myself. Do you think I always feel like I love them? No, I don't feel like I love them, but I take the actions. Of course, I don't run off. Sometimes I feel like running away. It gets overwhelming running a business, doing this YouTube channel, and then raising the kids, getting them up for school. They're sick, whatever's going on. That's tough. I don't always feel like doing for them, but I love them, so I do it. It's an action. It's something I know, and I take the action of love because I love my kids. But as I said, women in the U.S. are encouraged that if they don't feel like they're in love anymore, that they should go on and find somebody else. Now, there are some people who are very, we'll say, religious or have a strong belief in God, and they don't do that. But the majority of women are encouraged to leave if they're just not feeling it anymore. Feels before reals, as they say. But feeling has nothing to do with it. Of course, you have the infatuation stage when you first meet someone and when you get married, but the honeymoon wears out after a while, 6 months or a year, whatever it is. That's when the real love begins. And I just don't know if you can find that. Well, I won't say you can't. I want to be positive about this, but I'll say this. Your chances are better of finding it somewhere where women are not so far influenced by Western culture. I'll have to say it like that. So that's just my take on the whole thing. I have experience on both sides. Like I said, years and years of experience here, and I have years of experience with women from other countries. So take that for what it's worth. I hope it's helped you. And I tell you what else, we have over 1,500 subscribers now. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.